Hi everyone, hi chat. Can you hear me? It's me. Don't you remember me? Oh, I can't believe it's been so long. It's your old pal Victor. Don't tell me you don't remember me. Hi Spires, hi Lanceheart. Hi NK Dude. In classic tradition, you're here for really the best part of any stream. It's my opening monologue. I've missed you all. Sharlayan Dropouts has been away. It's been in the middle of a training arc. This was what I like to call a real-time time skip. We've been away for a few months. Gaining skills. Honing our pre-existing skills. Becoming stronger, more mighty than anyone could ever possibly imagine. And that means we're back at a time when the world needed us the most. Imagine if you will, 4 figures silhouetted against a sunset in the northern empty. One of these figures takes a drag from a cigarette. Ooh, that sound. You know that sound. They remove it from their pursed lips, throw it to the ground, stomp it out. An old-timey school marm in Sharlayan garb walks out to the gazebo, points a finger at them, as if to reprimand them. Another one of these silhouetted figures. One quick, boom, fist. Take that, Teach. Sorry, nerd. But the Dropouts are back! Beam, 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 beam. Lally ho! And welcome to another episode of Sharlayan Dropouts, a good Final Fantasy XIV podcast for bad academics. I think everything's going right. Look, we are in a new era. We are streaming live on Twitch. This is going to be a regular thing, folks. Much like the Axe of the Blood God main show. We're here to entertain. We're here to sneak our little tendrils into every facet of your daily life. We're here. We just hear Vic so far. Well, that's the point. I'm talking right now.
Victor has the conch.
You mean we just hear Vic so far? That's by design.
I wasn't going to say nothing.
Vic told us not to talk.
It's an opening monologue.
We're blinking twice. Twice. Please.
Yes.
Contact.
Look, it's time. We're back to school. And, yes, lally-ho, etc. Welcome to Sharlayan Dropouts, good Final Fantasy XIV podcast for bad academics. I am your host, Archon Victor Hunter. With me, as always, is the lovely Honorary Archon Nadia Oxford. How the hell are you, Nadia?
Did we just kill a teacher? Is that what happened?
Assaulted a teacher.
Okay, that's fine.
Very
fine.
different. Very different.
Very different. It's the difference about 20 years.
Which one of us was smoking and which one of us punched a teacher?
Why not both?
I don't smoke, so.
I'm capable of punching a teacher under the right circumstances. I am a fan of public education, but I will punch a teacher if the situation calls for it.
I imagine, is anyone here actually a smoker?
No, my parents are all, my whole family's chain smokers, so I never started. Like,
Yeah,
they're absolutely insane.
Right. Yeah, Nadia punched the teacher. Eric's taking a drag.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
Eric smokes. You're a Texan.
What?
I don't know. Is it a stereotype?
Texans, they all smoke. That's a thing. No, that's not a stereotype. That's not a thing.
The lovely voice you're hearing and the beautiful face you're looking at is, of course, Archon Eric Van Allen. How the hell are you, Eric?
Well, I'm dealing with some lung problems thanks to my newfound habit. But, besides that, I'm doing all right.
I'm going to jail for assault.
And, of course, the lovely and talented Archon Mike Williams. How the hell are you, Mike?
I'm doing pretty well. I am a little weirded out by this new monologue and the violence and smoking that is going on around me. I am a proper nerd here, so none of that on this side.
No history of rambunctiousness, of sticking it to the man?
No. Me and the man, we are like that. I'm on board with whatever the man is doing. Yay, the man. Unless the man is Xenos, then we'll work it out. He's gonna die eventually.
Are we looking at a green screen of your own living room?
You are looking of a green screen of my collection of stuff. See, you guys have like stuff behind you, whereas my background, like right now, where I am, is this. So that's not interesting to anybody. So what I did is downstairs is my collection of stuff. I took a picture of that and I put that as the background.
Hey, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah,
I only have stuff on half my screen. The other half is clearly garbage. Like that's
Look, we're back. It's a new year. I'm calling this a new season. I know we left you on a cliffhanger last season, and that was by design. Keep you guessing. Keep you wondering what's coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. But yes, welcome back to Sharlayan Dropouts. We're going to be doing regular shows, regular streams. It'll typically be Monday mornings at 11 a.m., give or take. And that's going to be every other week for the regular show. So I'm very excited to be back. I'm very excited to have the crew. We've assembled into the light party. Who's tanking, who's healing, who's DPS?
I tank.
Oh, I'm DPS. I'm like, I just can't get rid of machinist. I just love it.
Okay,
I love everything about it.
Range Fizz, Eric, what are you playing?
I'm healing. Yeah, I'm a healer these days. I'm completely converted over. So.
All right.
Oh wow, are you done floor tanking or
the floor is no longer for me. I now lift others up from the floor. I sage, and then I'm getting pretty close to having a modern high level Astro at this point. So
lovely. All right, then I'll if Nadia's range physical, I'll play Red Mage. I'll DPS with you.
Red Mage is always a good choice.
Can't go wrong. I'm not in love with any of my melee options right now, so do magic. That's fine.
I mean, the clutch res in case the healer dies.
And knowing us, we're gonna need it. Because we've got a lot to cover today, because we are on the precipice of patch 7.2, Seekers of Eternity, over in our old pal Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail. And that means we've had a live letter. That was live letter 86 a few days ago. We're going to be covering that. There's a lot to go through, so I'm very excited to talk about it with you all. But before that, let's do a little bit of our general discussion. What's everybody been up to in game lately, if anything?
Right now, I'm just kind of doing the Tombstone grind. I always like Moogle Tombstone events because they kind of make you feel like you're getting back into the game and, kind of doing that stretching before you get right into the meat of the thing. But actually, yeah, I've had to take some breaks because of games like Metaphor took up a lot of my time, so I had to play that, and Monster Hunter as well, Cyberpunk, which we're playing for the game club over at Blood God.
Sure.
But I have managed to find some time to grind some fates. I just like sometimes grinding a fate when you're kind of in that mood. And yeah, just dabbling. I've done some crafting. I got really hot on gathering for a time because I have this idea that I'm going to get a Runique, but that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Mike, what about you?
I'm actually I play 2 MMOs. I play FF14 and WoW.
Pathetic.
So I
Two?
was
Only two?
Yeah, only 2.
Your
and
boyfriend only has 2 jobs?
for a while, it was great because what they would do is they would alternate.
Yeah.
So I could focus on one and focus on the other. And then Blizzard decided, screw it. And they launched War Within. So basically, the War Within latest patch dropped like last week. So I have been in WoW catching up for that. And then when 7.2 drops, then I will jump back to 14 and do catch up on that.
Right.
While at the same time, Assassin's Creed Shadows, I'm an AC head, so
Sure.
is out this week. So I'm juggling. I haven't done. I basically did what I needed to catch up to 7.1, and then I only log in to make sure I keep my house. But apparently, I don't think I actually had to do that because I haven't gotten the thing. I think when the California fires started, they stopped auto demolition for a bit.
Interesting,
yeah. Huh.
So I like have it on the schedule to log in to make sure to keep my house, but I don't think I've had to for like the last like month and a half.
Wow.
That's an interesting concession considering like, yeah, a lot of people are getting hit by disasters that are like life altering now and can't come back to their homes for months at a time. They might not be able to play.
Yeah, don't want to lose both houses.
Mm-hmm.
Eric, what about you?
To keep the trend going, I haven't been playing a ton the past few months. I've kind of been poking in here and there, mostly just when I feel like I want, something to kind of chill around in. So I don't even really do a lot of content. I'll visit some nightclubs or some museums or stuff like that. I've always loved looking at like the architecture and what people build in their housing districts. So those are always really fun to go check out. I think it's always really interesting to see what people manage to do with those housing systems. But then like I'll do that. I'll kind of walk around. I'll just kind of take in the ambient virtual life. And then, I don't know, maybe like go find a triple triad NPC I haven't beaten yet and fight them for their cards.
How's
for that
going?
exclamation mark.
How is your quest for triple triad completion
mean, literally, I think at this point, if I want the mount, the only cards I need are a couple from running the trials and dungeons and stuff like that, which those are just impossible because of drops. You have to rely on a random drop popping it, and let me tell you, Thornton's Reign's still trying to get that one. Several dozen runs in now. But the actual bear is going to be getting rid of the Eureka and Baja ones, so I'm going to have to run that content at some point to get those cards, and that means
you get to, please.
I have to do all of it. Well, I don't have to do all of Eureka. I think I only have to get through Pyros on Eureka to get the cards I need for the mount, but I think I have to do all of Baja basically. It's one of them is you have to do the whole thing, and the other one is you only have to do like part of it.
Doing all of Basia will be okay, and you don't. I'm pretty sure you don't have to do Baldessian Arsenal or there might be one that you have to do in Hydados, or at least unlock Hydados to get. But yeah,
I was about to say if you have to do all of it, that's the hard part. Like when you get to those dungeons/trials. Because maybe you end up in unless you have a good static that knows they're going in, maybe you end up in a squad that has no clue what they're doing.
Here, I'm gonna check this real
Yeah.
quick. I'm gonna check out Comrade Kupo's Triple Triad Mountain Guide, which has been my. Oh, is it like messed up now? Hold on, Comrade Kupo Triple Triad. This has been like my northern star throughout this whole adventure. Oh, it's like the formatting's all messed up now.
Oh no, someone attacked Comrade Kupo.
Yeah.
Capitalist Kupo's
Yeah,
at it
those
again.
capitalist pigs have taken out Comrade Kupo.
This is a little upsetting. It's mildly
Capitalist
upsetting.
porksies.
Let's see. I need for Blue Mage. I think I've got all the Blue Mage ones. Yeah, Eureka. I need to have completed up through Pyros, which is level 50. Botan and Hetsukaze both unlock after beating Pyros. You can also get those cards through Fates if you want to go that way.
That's interesting because I was pretty sure there's a Provenance Watcher card, and that's kind of your last boss of Haidados.
That is Hetsukaze has that. Yeah, and then Boja completed Bajin's Southern Front quests and completed Zadnor quests, including the Diablo armament and something else.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
that's just playing through the main story stuff. That's good.
Yeah.
But you're gonna have to do at least the first one to complete the main story.
Delabrum, Regine, and the Dalradia are the two that I will need to do.
God, they're so good. And you're going to want to do them hundreds of times, like me.
I'm so excited. I'm so thrilled. Can't you tell? So yeah, when that kicks in, I'll probably be pitching in for that. I know there's been a Eureka group going for a while now, but the problem is even if a group is like up to speed, if you're not up to speed with them, like I think I'm like level 5 or something like that in Eureka, it's hard to get caught up even to like level 15s, right? You just have to go grind your quests.
We're in a position where we can split up and people can do lower level stuff, and it's our Eureka group has been great. I've managed to pop in a few times.
All right. If anyone
I'll
take your word for it.
If you're trying to get into Eureka, patreon.com/bloodgodpod. $1 a month gets you Discord access, and that means access to a very lovely group of people who play 14 regularly. As for me, I've also been taking a little bit of a break. I think that's fine. I think that's by design. I don't think 14 necessarily wants you to always be 14ing, which is healthy and good, which means I've had more time to play Final Fantasy XI. We've started up the Accept 11 streams again over on our Twitch, so if you are interested in playing through 11, especially if you've been playing the Echoes of Vana'diel raid series and want to know what the heck is going on, come join us over there. Again, that same lovely group of 14 people has splintered off into a lovely group of 11 people, and we've been working through that. And like I've said before, we got through base game and the first expansion in maybe under 40 hours.
Nice.
So 11 is not the game a lot of people seem to think it is. And on top of that, I've also, for research and for fun, been playing a lot of Phantasy Star Online.
Oh boy, the original, like and one.
Ooh, now that's a jam.
1 and 2 and New Genesis. So
really,
just
research.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I'm having a good time, and especially seeing how PSO 1 evolved into PSO 2, and then they abandoned a lot of those PSO 1 similarities for New Genesis to chase a sort of Genshin-like. Is
and
fascinating
all the women
to
have
watch.
boobies the size of basketballs because you can buy that.
Yeah, there's some character customization in that game, let me tell you.
There was one time, like, David used to play it a little bit, or at least check in, and he would check in, and he'd be, like, teleported in the middle of, like, some weird cat girl with, like, a backside the size of a dump truck. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Incredible game.
That's terrible. What platforms is this available on again? Where do I download it?
And on top of that, I have also received. Oh, where is it? Oh, it's not within arm's reach. I received my deluxe edition of the Final Fantasy XIV tabletop RPG standard rule book, and
Nice.
we've had our first session after coming back a couple days ago, and gosh darn it, it's real fun. I think I'll save a lot of my thoughts on it for a dedicated episode because I think there's enough to talk about that I could do that for a while. So I won't bore you all with the details right now, but it's interesting. It's an interesting rule book. I have plenty of criticisms, but also I have plenty of joy in my heart for the simple fact that it exists. And it was localized by a couple of my friends, so shout out to them.
Oh, that's nice.
They did great work.
Good job, Victor's friends.
But gosh darn it, let's get into the meat of today's episode. We're talking Live Letter 86 and everything we know about patch 7.2. Let's get into it. I'm just gonna go down the list and we can talk as little or as much about a thing as we desire. Of course.
I will say that at the very beginning, this was so one of the things about 14 is that it's pretty on a solid cadence, but we've usually had to guess about when the dates were for all the stuff. This time they just came out and were like, these are the exact dates for the next
They've
next
given us
couple things.
a very handy schedule. I'm very
I
grateful
do think
for that.
I think they had to do that though, because not to get like too ahead of ourselves here, but the way that they're kind of breaking up the content in this patch specifically, I think they needed to lead with some outline of when this stuff was going to arrive, or there might have been even more pitchforks in the street than we would have anticipated.
I don't know if you've seen the YouTube thumbnails lately, but Final Fantasy XIV is dead.
Oh, I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I looked at one.
You need me to hit some thumbnail faces real quick? Just do a little like...
Yeah. Final Fantasy XIV story in a disaster area. Like, I'm looking at. I just want to look
the Uber
at...
driver sucked me off face. Like,
people, please be patient. Things are fine.
Yeah.
I don't understand you.
Yeah. I think things are going just
Your
fine.
adrenal glands are going to burn out before you're 30. Please stop.
It's a-okay. Things might be struggling at Square Enix, but FF14 is not where the struggle is at the moment.
Yeah. So kicking off.
Damn it, Eric.
have you? Please tell me that's not another piece of internet esoterica that you've never seen before.
Of course, that's up there
You
with
can't-
Problems Clown.
I have
You
never
can't
seen
have-
that until this moment.
You can't have missed Problems Clown and Uber Driver Sucked Me Off. These are like important, like load-bearing pillars of the internet in this age.
I invoke Problems Clown regularly.
Yes.
As a wife guy, I invoke Problems Clown.
It's integral to the wife guy experience of Problems Clown. Like that
Problems
is
Clown should be the next class.
yeah. Whereas Uber Driver Sucked Me Off is like the like material, the grimoire of YouTube thumbnails. It contains all within it.
I'm getting old, man.
Okay, we've got MSQ, our dungeons. Let's not go into speculation about where the plot's going. We'll keep that spoiler free because well, whatever. It could go anywhere. Also, they're retreading territory that I think is very funny. But anyway, we're going to the Underkeep. Screenshots of this look to be very Alexandrian as far as the castle, the namesake castle from FF9 is concerned, including a screenshot that replicates a camera angle perfectly from one of 9's pre-rendered backgrounds that I absolutely adore. And then we have our trial that's going to be part of the MSQ. Yoshida even talked about this, I think in his Famitsu interview, about how they've discussed whether they want to keep patch trials part of the MSQ or separate, as in with Sorrow of Wurlet, things like that. But they're part of the MSQ this time, and this fight is against Recollection. Anybody have thoughts on who this lady might be?
Oh, I don't know. Is this the chick with the tulips?
You mean the roses? The roses
I was
of
joking.
May?
The Lions of June, I think it was. If I don't get some kind of cover of Roses of May, frankly, in this patch, like I'm gonna kick a hole in my wall, and my wall is plaster, so it's gonna be real bad.
Yeah. If our Beatrix surrogate doesn't have some kind of bit of dialogue about our Steiner surrogate, I'll be very disappointed, because that's a romance for the ages.
Yeah, they deserve to be happy.
Yeah. Mike, Eric, are you guys FF9 heads?
Nope.
I was waiting until we got to the costumes. No, I do not like FF9.
Does nothing for me. Yeah, no. Shaking your hand through the webcam, like finally a like mind. Yeah.
FF7, FF8, FF9, FF10.
Yeah,
I do not like FF9. I legitimately, I just like the story is fine. I don't particularly enjoy the throwback character designs. I don't particularly like the characters.
I played it very late in my life compared to most people, like only a few years ago, really. I wrote about it for Acts of the Blood God. And I liked it perfectly fine, but it definitely isn't like holy crap nostalgia game. That said, I do really like Beatrix. I think she was a great character. And I think the soundtrack for FF9 is, even if it's not my favorite, I think Kazuo Uematsu is like one of his best and most varied soundtracks. Like it's up there.
The thing about Final Fantasy is that everybody plays one and it becomes their like hyper fixation. And so I understand that. Like 10 was that for me, where I played 10 and I was like, cool. Other ones could come out. I could play other ones and they could be better than this game, but this one will always be that game for me. Like 10 will always just be that RPG for me.
Sure.
And I'm sure there are people out there who feel that way about FF9. And so I understand that even though they're wrong, they have their beliefs and they are unassailable from that position.
Yeah, I know there are folks like that because there was a whole FF9 fan remake project that had been going on for quite a while, and we've had a lot of excitement around the rumored leaked FF9 remake coming from Square Enix proper, but it's just one of those holes in me. I'm just like, that's good for you.
Hole that cannot be filled.
I do think it's really funny. It wasn't even around this patch, but it was around the Dawn Trail stuff that was coming out that people were saying like, oh my God, Dawn Trail has FF9 references in it. Does this mean that they're holding on to the FF9 remake until Dawn Trail comes out so they can launch them concurrently and build up groundswell? And I was like, y'all are dumb. Like this is like I get it. If you don't go here, I get it. But like it's like Final Fantasy 14 is the Final Fantasy theme park, and they just kind of like spun the wheel and landed on like 9 and 10 for Dawn Trail. Like there's a little bit of 10 in there, there's a lot of 9 in there, there's a lot of different stuff in there. It's the theme park. 11 shows up in there too. Yeah, like it's a little mix. It's a little slurry of Final Fantasy. It's the chicken nugget of Final Fantasy, and much like chicken nuggets, they're delicious. But like it is just the slurry that happens. And I do think this being FF9, there's excitement around it being FF9 in general, because I do think 9 is one of the more underdog entries of Final Fantasies when you get down to it. Everybody loves 7, everybody loves 6, everybody loves 10, but you don't really hear like people, I don't know, frothing at the mouth for 9 all that often. So I think its defenders get a little bit excited when they're finally given some scraps from the table that are usually reserved for Cloud and Terra and Tidus. So
I do have to say though, sorry, Vic, I was gonna say even though I'm not like, just really drenched in FF9 nostalgia, Heritage Found is one of my favorite maps for definitely for Dawn Trail, and in the game. Just I love seeing familiar images like the town of Final Fantasy IX subverted. I won't say anything more just in case of spoilers, but I think that's a really excellent map.
Yeah. I think 9 has been reassessed a few times over the past like 15 years, and to the point where now there's pushback against that reassessment and reappreciation of it. It's whatever. It's the Final Fantasy cycle. It's just what we're going. The dance will be dancing till the heat death of the universe. But anyway, yes, we see a very Beatrix-like lady as our trial, and I'm pretty stoked about what that.
I'm definitely want to hear some Roses of May out of this.
Oh, for sure. Arcadian, round 2. What do we got?
I'm very excited for this
for one reason. I love disco, so I just can't wait to hear what this song's going to be. It's going to be wild. I'm stoked.
You love disco?
As a background here,
I love disco.
Yeah. They showed off the first boss for Cruiserweight, and it is a disco themed dance floor with a Shatona, probably Shatona, right?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. With neon green hair and a neon pink jacket, and it looks like, sorry folks, you might have to pay attention to the battlefield and the music in order to not stand in the fire.
Yeah. We may be building on some Suzaku DDR-like mechanics.
Yeah, I had heard that.
Yes, our first round has been confirmed to be Dancing Green. A fascinating
young name. And sweet, only 17.
I just got it. God damn it.
Yeah.
I just said I love disco.
Excellent. Then we have... we don't know what order these are in, but we have our Splatoon Lalafell.
Oh, right.
I'm very excited for that one.
Yeah, we have our very Toku mech wolf guy that looks like it's probably going to be our third fight, and then fourth fight looks like it's going to be to me it looks like a Little Shop of Horrors on a Magitech Scorpion rig. We saw a couple brief shots of a very plant-like boss that seems to be moving.
Which is surprising, because I figured every fourth was going to end with the sister again, since that is the
me too.
nominal story focus of the of the raid.
Well, that would have set Vic up for another gag for the next Valentine's Day. This series has been really, really fun though. Like I enjoyed the Endwalker raid series, but I don't know that it was particularly noteworthy for me outside of some of the more interesting stuff it did with the lore and with evolving those characters. But I think like pound for pound in terms of just how excited I am for each new round of the raids, this expansion has been very good. It's had some really great content. It's had some really fun ideas that are neat to play around in, and also just feel like a little bit lighthearted. Like with the Endwalker stuff, I was like, oh, this is really kind of a drag. Like I'm sad. I'm already sad, and now I just got to be sad again. So no, I'm really, really enjoying the Arcadian.
It's the joy of a tournament arc too is just what little freak are you gonna send out next? Like who are we gonna see? What's their power? What's their animal? What's their deal? And that's just fun. It's why the formula works. Maybe I only care about this, but we're getting in PvP. We're getting the return of Secure, which is our Cartno Fields map. They've revamped it, redone a bunch of mechanics to sort of fit with the vision for what PvP is now. Should be pretty fun. I don't know. I always do my PvP battle pass every patch. I like getting my mounts and my little outfits and my adventurer plate stuff. So that should be fun.
We love you for it.
I gotta finish mine. I'm like a few steps away from the cosmetics for this one, so I need to do some roulettes.
Oh yeah, get in your daily frontline bonus.
Yeah.
This is also where in the live letter Yoshi P showed off mounting while moving at the same time. Oh my god.
This is like I called this on the pre-show a 2-die event level. This is level event. This is big news.
Yeah, so there were two movement. One is being able to queue up sprint. So the long national nightmare has been you sprint for a little bit, and then you have to actually pay attention to do sprint again. Now you will be able to, I assume, they say queue it up, just spam that all day, like spam it like 16 times, and then keep going. But yes, mounting while moving. For the Fate Train folks, this is the clouds have parted, the sunlight has come down from the heaven. Your Fate Trains can go even faster, my friends.
Well, also they added the jog thing too, where it's like after you sprint in certain areas, you're going to keep up a like enhanced movement speed. Is kind of what people have been saying.
Yep.
Which should be nice.
It'll
Hopefully,
be nice in Solution 9, which is very big.
Solution 9, Island Sanctuary, places like that. Honestly, Island Sanctuary is a place where I just wish I could have sprint on 24/7 and not have to like keep hitting the button to refresh it.
Right.
Because
Someone
you're always
going
to
to
be sprinting.
Flying in Island Sanctuary.
I have, but you're not always flying. You can't farm while you're flying. You can't. Like, I don't want to like mount and then go about like 2 feet and then go like shear my sheep and then like remount and then go again.
All right, fair enough.
Someone still hasn't unlocked anything in Island Sanctuary.
You get your minions.
You haven't done any Island Sanctuary?
I think I did like the first like 3 quests.
No.
You gotta get your John Deere tractor.
I maxed everything out because I wanted all of that glam and those tractors, baby.
The mounts are so good.
They're so good. Motorcycle mount, just perfect mount.
You get alligator from that too.
That's right. How do you not want alligator?
I got
alligator
all
hangs
those
there.
mandragoras. I love them.
Mandragoras too, yeah.
Yeah, those two.
They're fine.
I love them.
Well.
Also appearing.
It is, of course, time to rotate out our tomestones to the tomestones of mathematics, and the gear this time.
Tomestones of nerds.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, because mathematics is so much nerdier than fucking Goetia or Esoterica or all of these other.
Those sound cool.
Yeah,
that sounds like the name of like a metal band album or something. Like, oh man, I got the new drop from Goetia.
You haven't seen?
Did you hear the breakdown on Esoterica?
I saw them at the Rickshaw in like 97. Oh god, they were amazing. And our gear this time is loosely FF9 inspired. I think the one that they showed off was that was the most similar to anyone actually from 9 is the Steiner gear. Even then, it's loosely inspired. We got some Amaranth stuff. We got some Zidane.
The Dragoon is not based on why would you? Like, if it's not based on Freya, why would you?
It's not based on Freya.
So the Zidane looks the best, I'd say, of the set. I am a Pally main. This has long been, and once again, as my cross to bear, unfortunately, Steiner is just a knight. So the Pally once again is trapped in just a knight.
he's a knight with a very specific traditional silhouette and look and feel to his materials. He's so archetypal knight that it's almost it's unique in its ordinariness in terms of FF14 armor design. Where'd Nadia go?
Nadia got up. But yeah, the gear looks fine.
Yeah,
Fine.
this
It
is one of
looks-
those ones. It's kind of like how in Ivalice, when they also had that line of armor that was based off of the tactics designs that were very simple silhouettes and were very of a time. These are not super detailed. These are not the ornate kinds of armor you come to expect, which makes them a little. I don't know. I think it gives
I
them
think
a
they'll.
unique look.
Yeah, I think they'll make people happy just because there's been with like Arcadian, and that's gonna continue forward, and some of the PvP gear. There's been sort of a pushback and a dislike of the more modern,
Yeah, I was gonna say there's been a call
trendy
for
gear.
more medieval gear.
Well, we're even getting another line of very
Yeah, of
cyberpunk.
that. Yeah.
Like,
Which I think
very
looks
cyber.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Much
they're
like
fun.
I thought the PvP, the recent PvP gear, and the other stuff. So I enjoy the modern look stuff.
Yeah.
But I have noticed on the subreddit and other places, people like, I want more fantasy stuff. So this will probably, even if they are not particularly tied with the characters, I think this will probably make some people happy.
Sure. Anybody here run the Unreals regularly? Anyone do
No,
your
no.
faux hollows? I haven't done it in a while, but Hell's Kier is this patch's Unreal trial, which is the only fight that I did in fact have to do 99 times before I got
Oh my
mount.
god. Literally, like an actual 9 and
You're
9.
ready.
Yeah, because
yeah.
you have to get if you don't get the drop, you have to get the little
totem.
stone, the
Oh.
totem.
Yeah.
So he had to just keep going.
I know this fight
Goodness.
inside and out. I might do my faux hollows this patch. Who knows? Some controversy. I don't know if anyone here is able to speak on it, but job adjustments. While Yoshi P was showing off the fight against Dancing Green, people also noted some changes to Black Mage. There is a general simplification. We got some quicker cast times. It is less reliant on planting your feet as it was before. Any strong feelings from anyone?
I do not play Black Mage, so
no.
I cannot comment on that. But it seems like there's
Also, don't.
yeah, I heard that Painter got nerfed.
Well, Pictomancer needed a nerf. Pictomancer
Yes.
was yes.
Was it a bit too much?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
Pictomancer was a lot.
very much
That was
so.
my go-to PvP class for a while, just because it was like, well, I can try to do things, or I can just play Pictomancer. But like, I don't know. I don't go here. I don't play Black Mage, so I take this with that grain of salt. But I do like the idea that Black Mage was very centered on the idea of you have to play around ley lines and the inherent risk reward of that. But I think ultimately you end up developing a situation where people are just incentivized to always play on top of their ley lines to the detriment of engaging with the game, let's say. I never, as a healer, I never had anybody be like, use your mitigation on me so I can stay on a ley line while I eat this pea puddle off the ground. Like that's, I thankfully never ran into that. Not in Final Fantasy 14 in real life though. But I think I understand why they're doing this. But I also understand at least some of the concerns about classes feeling too similar, if that makes sense.
Yes.
And I think it is a warranted concern, but I also think there is, as with most things in long running games and long service games, especially when you have people who literally just log on to these games, play them for 12 hours a day, and then go and do everything about this game all the time. It can get a little overzealous, and I think it's worth seeing the actual version of what this is and talking about the specifics rather than like kind of trying to intuit just from the brief glimpses that we got on the stream. But I don't know. I think over time most of my concerns about reworks and stuff have not been terrible. When they actually get implemented, they always work out pretty okay.
Yeah.
That being said, if you ever take away some of my favorite buttons on Sage, we're gonna have a talk. It's gonna come up in the next interview.
I will say, as someone who mains all of the tanks, so I play pretty much all of them. I have seen sort of the flattening of the gameplay differences between them.
Yeah.
But I honestly think they still have their various flavors, and I think it allows them to all sit on a pretty even level in terms of like the bigger your gameplay differences, the more they have to think about tuning specific fights.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you'll run into a fight that will be like back in the day when Dark Knight used to have way more strengths against magic. Like, okay, this fight, you're bringing a Dark Knight for this. Like, and there's not as much of that anymore, which I think is a good thing.
I feel like a lot of that is going to move to the Occult Crescent from the descriptions that we've seen of the Occult Crescent so far.
Oh, don't even. We'll get there. Oh,
little
boy,
tease.
Well, yeah. I was actually reminded. I was at a party on the weekend where I ended up talking to some people there about Monster Hunter, and there were some of them were sort of complaining about some of the simplifications in Wilds, and when does quality of life sort of sand off too much of the edges? And ultimately, they're still having a perfectly fun time, and they said, "Oh yeah, it's still great and awesome, if just a little bit too easy." And then we were talking about how, well, yes, because Monster Hunter will roll out the super hard stuff. If you lower, like with 14. You lower the skill floor and ceiling of your jobs so that everyone is at a similar baseline of skill. And then that gives you room to raise and lower the skill floors and ceilings of specific encounters a lot easier. Like you were saying, it's about the balance of the encounters as opposed to... And then you get more flexibility with party composition. So I see where they're going, and I understand it. Also, I've been playing a lot of 11 and PSO2, base PSO2, where, oh my god, the level of customization for your jobs feels incredible. You feel so much ownership over your character and the skills they have and what skills you're pursuing. God, it feels so good, and I love it. And I understand that that's not what 14 is going for in its light and full party encounters. Like, that's just, unless you're in a place like Eureka or Bosnia or Occult Crescent, that's not what they're trying to pursue.
I do think it's interesting that so many of the conversations around this end up almost feeling like the presumed end game or the presumed tail of these games is just playing higher level content, is chasing a challenge, where there are a lot of people who play Final Fantasy 14 specifically who rarely engage with that high level content. I'm sure there are probably numbers at Square Enix that indicate as much. But again, when I was talking earlier, like, I have not dropped my sub, I've not lapsed my sub in a very long time. And I have not been playing all that much, but not only, like, when I do get on, it's not to run a Savage or Extreme or anything like that. It's to go do things in the world. It's to go, like, fuck around in RP places or go play Triple Triad against a new NPC that dropped in the most recent patch. Please keep putting more Triple Triad NPCs in the patches because I'm running out. I'm running low. All right.
I'm
Daddy
Addict.
needs triple triad.
I'm in that horrible position where I cannot find for the life of me another triple triad icon of an NPC I haven't beat, but my achievement tells me I have to
Oh.
beat 2 more NPCs that I've never defeated yet until I get my achievement, and I don't know
They're
where
probably
they are.
behind a quest. They're probably behind a quest.
I've checked. There was even a Reddit thread that was like, "Where are these people?" And everyone was like, "Here's the usual suspects. Here's the ones that tend to be hidden." And I can't find them.
I hate to tell you this. There's so many quests that I did not think. The other trick, and this is really annoying that it does this, if there's an NPC who is both a quest giver and a triple triad
Yes.
NPC,
Yes.
it will not show the triple triad icon above their head. It
Yes.
will show the quest icon above their head because it will assume that that is the reason you're going to talk to them. And so you have to talk to them, and then they might have like quest start, or triple triad match.
Yeah.
And you have to like go and find that out. There were a few NPCs who pulled that on me.
There's also the problem.
You can't hide your cards from me.
Yeah. There's the
Oh
problem.
God, here he comes.
Of,
If he asks, I don't play.
if you have the cards already from that NPC, then it won't show you the icon. So if you got
Yes.
them from somewhere else, anyway, when the patch comes and they add a couple more NPCs, I can just beat 2 of them and I will get that achievement. It's just annoying that there's 2 out there somewhere that I know are just they've somehow escaped me.
You're
Anyway.
gonna have to
Get you
make
your
a
Baron.
list and go NPC by NPC until you find them.
I know.
And honest, we have talked before about how we need to start Card Captor Eric to get the last to make this like a stream. We can make this content. So like we can have Card Captor Eric, and then what was the name of the little cherub thing that followed Sakura around?
Kiraberos.
Yeah, you can be that. And it'll
Voiced,
and then we'll have your very special episode where we go find your NPCs.
I believe voiced by Vancouver local Matt Hill.
We
Oh,
love to
hey,
see
no
it.
kidding.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, I think like there are so many people that engage with this game on a very base level, and that's not a bad thing. That's like very much the intended experience of Final Fantasy XIV.
Yeah.
And everything extra is everything extra. And I also don't think this game is honestly hurting in additional stuff as we're about to get into.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going to start listing my grievances with Final Fantasy XIV, the like lack of content is certainly not one of them.
No.
Now, when we get to the delivery of said content, now we can start talking, but we'll talk about that.
Okay, well let's the only other thing I have here is duty support is being added for the Sunken Temple of Karn. So there you go, everyone.
There we go.
Let's get into our first big chunk. Nadia, Cosmic Exploration, take it away.
Oh, okay. I was actually going to ask you if you could help me sort this out because I'm very excited about this, but it's confusing. It seems like, okay, so I am someone who has 100%ed Island Sanctuary, more or less. I am missing a couple of animals, but otherwise I sat there and I played until I got every single, all the glamour I wanted, all the mounts I wanted, and I made myself this really nice little island. It had like you have a surprising amount of customization.
Oh yeah.
I'm actually very disappointed that we just aren't doing Island Sanctuary anymore. And it's like, okay, I already have problems in my heart because I abandoned so many Animal Crossing towns, and now you're making me turn my back on my gay vacation town. Thank you, Square Enix. But yeah, the idea with the cosmic base is that we are rebuilding certain planets. Are they the planets that have been like affected by Dynamis?
No. So Cosmic Exploration is structured a little bit more like the Ishgardian Restoration and the Diadem. So
yeah, and we
seems
knew
like a
we
mix
knew
of
this was
everything.
coming. Yeah, we knew
Yes.
this was coming.
These-
We had when we did Dawn Trail speculation, we were like, "There's probably going to be a new Ishgardian Restoration,"
yeah.
and we were hoping. Well, Vic was hoping for a new Bonja/Eureka, and this live letter we got both
Yes.
announcements of both. cosmic exploration is Guardian Restoration. So if you are a gatherer or
That's me.
crafter, this is your speed level area.
This
Hell yeah.
is what makes me happy. I didn't dislike Island Sanctuary, but the fact that it was ostensibly a crafting and gathering mission, but did not require crafting or gathering.
Right.
No,
Really-
that ruled. I love that.
Well, yeah, but
That's so funny. It is really funny that you can go there and they're like, yeah, go gather herbs like you've always been doing, and me with like not even having the thing ticked in my thing that says botanist, like, yeah, the thing I've been doing for a while.
I think that was genuinely a really big misstep because it
so
meant
funny.
It was funny.
it also meant that crafters and gatherers didn't really get much of anything during that entire expansion.
Fair.
So this is now for crafters and gatherers. I believe the requirement for getting in is just having cleared Endwalker, so 6.0, just
And
like
level
the
10.
actual mission Endwalker, and level 10. So yes, like Ishgardian
About
Restoration.
to say, I think it's lower than Diadem, isn't it? Because isn't Diadem like
it's
something
15.
like level 30 or something like that?
Maybe 30, yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So this is a good way for people like Eric to maybe get into crafting and gathering.
What? No. Walk this back. I have a level 100 botanist. You will not believe how much Yulani garlic I sold during the launch of Dawn Trail. I made
okay.
cash money on that shit.
Okay.
And then I have a level 100, maybe not level 100, like level 90 weaver. And I have unlocked all the other, like I have all of the classes unlocked. I have
Okay.
not started on the Omni crafting venture. I think my miner is something like level 40 to 60 range,
Sure.
but I had to do all of the dwarven side quests and all of the Moogle tribal quests
To get
to
what?
get my cards. And I also
Okay.
got my tank and my floating poof ball and all that, but I actually like the Moogle one. I thought that was a fun one.
The Moogle was very cute.
The dwarven one is like a fun story. I don't think I cared much about what I was doing, whereas I found the actual activities of the Moogle one to be more fulfilling and interesting and fun.
So
I was going to say,
yeah, go for it.
benefits this time around, unlike the Diadem and Isgardian, is this is a 100% separate inventory. So you're not filling up your bags.
Thank
Generally, what you
God.
had to do for those,
Terrible.
because I am an Omnicrafter, is you go there, have YouTube on in another window, you do your whole run until your bags are full, and then you come back out to whatever the little hub area is, and you start either crafting or getting rid of those items so you can go back out again. We don't know how big the inventory will be, but at least it won't fill up your normal bags.
Yeah.
The Diadem like ambient music is like ingrained somewhere in the back of my brain, or it's just
Same.
like the it's just like
There was one time I went on and just everybody was high off their ass. I mean, everybody was just like, lol, Diadem, and I was high too. It was
Diadem
like,
rules for that. I got on there once and people were just talking about RPGs and they're just like throwing names like Langrisser around and stuff like that. And I was like, yo, Diadem's lit tonight. And like it was I look
Stoner
forward
stuff.
to that. I really, because all the sickos are going to cosmic exploration. Like, I'm sorry, I don't think like the normal people are going to show up in cosmic exploration, and that's fine. Like, let the sickos have their little moon base. Maybe some people will like dabble in it and see the vision and understand the glory. But like, I am excited we have this. For
I'm
this
going
patch.
all in. Yeah.
I'm more excited for this than Occult Crescent. I'm just gonna say that, like, flat out. I'm more excited for moon base building than I could be for most other things they would add to this game.
So yeah, the structure. Nadia, do you know how any of it
Yes.
works?
More or less, yes.
because I set this aside for you because this is your section. So do you want to?
This is like in Persona when the teacher's like, now you need to answer the question.
You're gonna have the chalk thrown at me. That's right.
I was hoping you could take the reins on this section, but if,
I'm
if
sorry.
Not,
I think I missed that. I'm really sorry. I'll remember for next time.
sure. Again, everyone, make sure you've read the notes and watched the live letter.
Okay.
So you will be
Mike, take the wheel.
So you will be working with New Lawport Scanning Way, and Scanning Way is your sort of entrance to this. You're building a moon base and sort of carving out this section of the moon. You have different Cosmo missions. You will also have, similar to Island Sanctuary, a specific window of different types of abilities. And you even have, as one of the Cosmo mission, mech ops, where you can pilot a little mech, which will most likely be a mount reward, definitely at the end of all of this, of some sort. In order to get these rewards, you will have a different type of credit. I believe it was Cosmo credits. Which you will be gaining, and you will be able to use those Cosmo credits to pick up new rewards, which will be fantastic. There's also lunar credits, I believe they were called, that you can use to spin a little roulette mini game, and the roulette will offer some rewards, and they mentioned like special modes and other stuff in there. But I don't think we got a ton of. Yeah, go ahead.
That'll kind of take the place of the Kupo of Fortune stamp cards that we had.
Yeah.
On the subject of the mech ops, part of that too, I like that they've sort of integrated some of the Bosnia dual system, because not everyone gets to pilot the mech. Someone will be chosen, and you have to purchase a ticket to get entered into sort of the raffle for who gets to pilot the mech. And then if you don't get to pilot it, you get your ticket back, and then there's sort of like, again, like in Bosnia with the duels, there's a notoriety system where if you didn't get picked, your chances of getting picked next time go up. So you have your mech pilots, and then you have your little supporters who are doing things along with them. And
it's really cool because I think there's a lot of good stuff being done here in terms of taking what would normally be a very passive activity and adding a lot of communal effort around it. They have the events that are like, something's going on, we need everybody to go do this, and there's like crisis events and things like that. There's the top earners on different worlds can, earn a little bit of like renown and prestige and get displayed and all that kind of stuff.
You get your hologram
I think
up in the base. It's very, very cute.
And obviously, like, the main goal is they're keeping it world restricted because they want every world to build up their own base. And so I think there's a lot of really smart stuff being done here to encourage the communal vibes that were already very present in Diadem, and you had stuff in Diadem that were like those communal efforts to build up. But I think it is even more refined here, and we're seeing like a 2.0 of that. That's really exciting, and it does kind of like, when I think of Craft and Gathering, I think of it as a very solitary affair where you're, like Mike was saying, you put on YouTube and you just go and do stuff and you're just kind of like in your zone. But it can also be a very like cool place to meet other people who like that sort of thing and to share in that. And so building systems that support that, even when a lot of the inputs are still the same, is really smart. And I really, really like that aspect of it.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, and most importantly, other than leveling, the other thing that Ishgard Restoration and Diadem gave, new tools, my friends. New tools.
Cosmic tools.
Cosmic tools that you will be able to enhance and level up. And if you are a crafter gatherer, new tools are always your bright shining star. They are the the extra weapons of our craft. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of the new tool models and what they look like when they're fully finished.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And like Eric was saying earlier about schedule stuff, we do have a schedule for when they are adding new zones. Each major patch we're going to be getting. So patch 7.21, keep in mind, is Cosmic Exploration. That's April 22nd. So about a month after the actual patch drops is when we're getting this. Then each major patch, we're going to get our next star that we'll be exploring. So first one, we get the moon, and then we'll be visiting other little planetoids as we make progress.
This is what I'm annoyed about. I'm mad
Yeah.
that it's staggered out. I was really excited for a really big patch, and having it all staggered out like this kind of made me go like, okay, well, I guess I'll log on, do the MSQ, and then log back off and wait for the things I'm excited for to show up eventually. And also, important for all the sickos out there, April 22nd puts it 2 days away from Claire Obscure and the 100 line launching on that week, which is
Dang.
like, y'all, please.
Have mercy.
Are we good for Cosmic Exploration? Anything else? I do just want to say that I like that they're incorporating things that they've learned both from Ishgardian Restoration and from field ops like Eureka and Bosnia. Like I think they're incorporating those in a pretty fun way. And also, I gotta give props the amount of resources they pour into making new UI elements every time one of these comes out is incredible.
Yeah.
Island Sanctuary was great for it. All those lovely little wooden plaques and things that made up your UI. The fact that all of
really
these
nice.
look like they're little apps on tablets and things is, I don't know. Somebody give them a raise, whoever's doing that. Anything else before we move on? It's time for the Occult Crescent. It's the moment I've been waiting for.
Sicko hours.
Patch 7.25, which is coming on May 27th, so 2 months after patch 7.2.
Not in the window of anything, so good job there.
Yet.
Well, right when I've started work on my next contract, we are getting Occult Crescent. This is our new expeditionary zone, our new foray, our new what else are they calling it? Field op? Whatever they call these things, this is our new one. It is a 72 player instance. Oh my god. Our trailer, the trailer that they released for 7.2, the first 3 shots of it are of the Occult Crescent. Immediately, we see Nemean architecture. We see Maki architecture. We see Amdapori architecture. Throughout this, they show off in the UI that the currency we're getting is coins of enlightenment. And on those little coins, you see 12 little dots in a circle. Oh my god. The 5th astral era was the age of enlightenment. That's when belief in the 12 was resurrected, when the sanctum of the 12 was built in the East Shroud. This is War of the Magi stuff, baby. Occult Crescent is gonna be War of the Magi.
So when I think War of the Magi, I think Final Fantasy VI. I know it comes up in other Final Fantasies. I think Final Fantasy 12 as well.
Sure.
But there is, in Final Fantasy VI, Crescent Island.
5 is the
5 has Crescent Island as well?
this is the Crescent Island we're pulling from. This is 5 stuff.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's not okay, but still.
Yeah.
Cool. There's so many
Yeah.
Crescents.
I mean, the
the trailer had the Final Fantasy V battle music, did it not?
Yes.
Like,
Yes, it
Okay,
does.
yeah.
This is very much 5. It's why we have the support job system. As
Right.
some people may know, FF5 was the first game that introduced sub-jobs or support jobs, where after learning skills by playing one job, gaining job points, you could then transfer those skills over to other jobs. It's what makes 5... it's what makes 11. It's what originally made 14 interesting.
And also the gear. I was unlike the Tombstones of Math gear, the Occult Crescent gear. I was very excited for because I am an FF5 head.
Are
Right.
you?
I am indeed. That is one of my faves.
Okay, I like you again.
And the some of the character gear, unless you've seen the Amino art, you wouldn't have realized that it's Bart's
Yeah, I know Arts
and
is
Fair's.
Oh, we're getting Lena, we're getting Ferris, we're getting Bart's. We're also getting some stuff based on 5 jobs, which let's talk about sub jobs
Beastmaster.
first.
yeah, I can't wait for that.
Okay. As a 5 and 11 sicko, this is my jam. This is what Eureka and Bosnia were gesturing at with their lost actions and logos actions. This is the kind of character customization that I yearn for. We are getting 3 jobs unlocked at the start, for a total of 12 jobs. I should say that this is the Occult Crescent, the South Fang? Fork? Hook? What is it? What's it called? South.
Was it? The South was it?
Anyway, we're in the southern part of the Occult
Fork?
Crescent. Because our end of instance dungeon is the Fork Tower, which is from FF5. Do any of you know what is unique about Fork Tower from FF5?
I mean, I could cheat and look at the notes right now, but
We took a peek when you were in the John.
Fork
Oh, here it
Tower
is anyway.
splits in 2. The Black Tower, only magic will deal damage. White Tower,
Oh no.
only physical attacks will deal damage. If we're talking about the same sort of asynchronous mechanics that we got in Bosnia with Castrum Lacus Latore and Delibrum Reginae and the Dalriada, we are looking at potentially teams splitting up into different forks so that they can complete tasks that are suited to their sub-job combinations. This is some Baldessian. In the pre-show, I called this Baby's First Baldessian Arsenal,
Yes, you did.
and I stand by that. I am so excited about the potential of the Fork Tower. I'm vibrating.
I'm happy
victory
for
right
you. I'm really interested to see, like, this feels made for the sickos in that it's like you need a 100 level like combat job to get in, right?
Yes.
So this is not necessarily a leveling venture. This is like you're going to show up to play ball. You're going to show up to engage with the mechanics, to understand how this game works. There's an expectation that you have at least seen the base level of how combat and larger encounters happen in this game, and you probably have a familiarity with what your job is supposed to do. And we are going to expand on that, twist on that, do different things with that. That's cool. I love that for y'all. I will goof around in this. I will do some goofs, and then I will go back to my moon
Wait
go mine
until,
my rocks.
Wait until you've had the full Eureka and Bosnia experience, and then you may find that you're thirsty for this, because again, this is
I'm thirsty for rocks.
These areas, of course, they have their own leveling system. So this one is the knowledge level. So yes, it assumes you're level 100. that isn't going to matter. What matters is your knowledge level. You'll be gaining experience through fighting mobs. I'm sure they will have a Eureka-like system with your challenge log, whatever. So you'll be getting your first goal is to reach your knowledge level cap. Then all of your sub jobs also have their own levels. So if you want to specialize in monk as your sub job, then you can go ahead and do that. But it's going to behoove people who want to have versatility in places like the Fork Tower to have, you're probably going to want to, if you level monk first, then maybe time mage is the one you want to level next so that you can take on either the black or white tower. Again, this is all speculation, but I'm assuming these places are going to have restrictions on what kind of abilities can be used for certain things. And then, of course, when you have these sub-jobs equipped, they grant you more and more abilities as they level up, and those abilities are presented in a lovely little Secret of Mana-like ring menu that I think is adorable.
Good old ring menus. Can't go wrong with them.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll work kind of like rotating your Magia board in Eureka, but
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
yeah, I think these are great.
I'm admittedly a little surprised because the theming of the Fork Tower definitely feels like it would dovetail so well with the deep dungeon, but now is not the time for another deep dungeon to come.
No, I think he did say when we're getting deep dungeon though. It's later, but I think he said anyway. Yeah, I'm so excited, especially because they've said that we're getting 25 sub jobs plus freelancer. And they have shown off in the first, I think it was the Korean Fan Fest or a Korean live letter or something, where they first showed off screenshots of these jobs. The Oracle was included in there, which was a Game Boy Advance, that was an FF5 Advance exclusive job. And when they were showing off the gear for this, along with the Lena Ferris Barts, they also showed off Berserker, which is just wearing that wolf head, the Time Mage, and also the Cannoneer, which is another GBA exclusive. If we're delving into GBA exclusive stuff, then, and this is War of the Magi related, my prediction is that by the end of 7.5, we will be doing combat with the FF5 Advance exclusive boss character designed by Tetsuya Nomura, Enuo, the most powerful of mages.
I have to look this up.
He rules. He's just a weird...
Enuo, huh?
He's a gross little tentacle freak.
Ew. Good old Nomura. How do you spell his name?
Oh, he is a little tentacle freak. Look at this guy. Hold on.
Yeah, put him in the chat. Let me see here. Oh, he's got problems.
He shows up pre-tentacled. That's crazy.
Hi, everybody. How you doing?
Yeah.
One thing I will say is, since there are 25 jobs in this, it feels to me like they are burning off some jobs here just to be like, look, we gave them to you. Like, so when we do our next job speculation, they're like, look, we did these. We are not going to put these ones.
I don't think so. Because, I mean, we sort of got that with the Hero's Gauntlet in Shadowbringers. That gave us the Berserker, the otherworldly Berserker, Necromancer, and Thief, which was sort of a tongue-in-cheek, like, here's some jobs from other shards kind of thing. This is... He even said that some of these jobs are reused. Like Monk, of course, is a job we have, and you can get the sub-job Monk. And the way he's justifying it is that these are ancient versions of these jobs. These are like sort of more archetypical versions of these jobs, which is interesting because that's something that lore-wise has always been a little bit strange, especially when they introduce a job that is in world has been developed relatively recently. Like when you think about machinist or even things like white mage or dancer. These are jobs that have sort of, or paladin was developed in Ul'dah. Like these are jobs that have been developed in history. So then why, when we go do a dungeon from thousands of years ago, do we get weapons for these jobs that have only been made in the past few centuries? So I think, yeah, they're trying to rationalize some of this and work that back into lore. But even then, War of the Magi isn't that far in the past. This is after Crystal Tower. This is a few thousand years ago, as opposed to 12,000 years ago or whatever.
It's also very funny to be a monk. That's just
Yes.
funny to say. It's
Yeah.
funny
Like
to be.
Moon the wolf.
Yeah.
Monk.
Like, what's your class? Oh, I'm monk.
Monk.
Pardon?
Monk's so nice, we did it twice. Yeah.
Monk squared.
And of course, like Bosnia, we're getting back. Skirmishes have just been renamed to fates to keep it simple. We're getting critical encounters instead of critical engagements. They didn't mention anything like the duel system in this one, which is kind of too bad. I think duels were really fun in Bosnia. It's a one-on-one fight with a major boss, and whoever gets it, everyone runs over and gathers around and cheers them on. And if that person wins the duel, everyone gets a buff if they were around watching it. So
that's fun.
They're bringing back field notes, which is also very exciting. Bosnia field notes were a just absolutely colossal source of lore and writing by Matsuno. They were fantastic. Each one was like a little short story, and some of them brought me to tears. From what Yoshida showed off, these are a little more concise. It didn't look like there was a scroll wheel on the side of the window, which is too bad. But of course, our NPC that's bringing us here is Kettenram, who was woefully underdeveloped in the MSQ. This
very important guy who just just is like, hey,
yeah,
this is me, the legendary guy, and then
anyway,
stuff happens with him. I don't want to spoil, but like stuff happens, but not really.
We also don't know how old he is. They just sort of tell us 80 years ago he traveled to the New World. Anyway, he's still around and he's fine and can fight, and brought into the conversation some concerns about what we know about Rogadin lifespans. And
that opened a bottle.
Yeah, very strange. Anyway, he's alive and fine, and we're going to the Occult Crescent with him, of course, because this is FF5 themed. Oh, please tie into Galef Baldessian and the Dawn Warriors, which would, of course, tie this back to Eureka. So everybody go play Eureka, and then
and then like Eureka, to sort of sweeten the pot and to carrot everybody. Phantom weapons, the relic weapons for Dawn Trail, will be unlocked here.
Yep.
And Occult Crescent. So if you want to keep your relic weapon chain going, you're going to have to go here into Occult Crescent.
Did they not say that there was going to be multiple ways?
I think there's other ways to do it too, but it's like very specific activities you have to do. Yeah.
I think kind of like with Bosnia, there's going to be ways you can make progress in Occult Crescent or by doing stuff outside. But ultimately, you will have to make progress to unlock those next steps. That's
Yeah.
how it was kind of in Bosnia, and it bottlenecked some people in their relic grind. So I don't know if they might do things a little bit different, but from what he was saying, it looks like
Look, anything for relic weapons will be better than the books. 100%. That's
yeah.
no matter what happens
Yeah.
in the future, from now until the end, anything is better than the books.
Slap yourself
I
100
hate the
times
books.
for the new relic weapons. Oh, thank God it's not the books again.
I had been just sort of passively spending my poetics on some Heavensward stuff over the last, I guess, couple years, and I had leveled up Summoner recently, and I thought I'm gonna go see if I can make any progress in my Summoner anima weapon. And with all the stuff I had just passively gained, I jumped 5 steps, just talking to Ardashir over in Azisla. Feels good. Feels real good. I've done similar things with the resistance weapons. I love them. I love them so much.
I had to write the relic weapon guide for,
course.
at the time, Endwalker, like from start to Endwalker, which means I had to do them.
Oh,
I have never, like, it just felt like cat of nine tails on the back. But once you get past that, it's smooth sailing. Like everything else is so much easier.
Yeah. And to the point where Endwalker's relics were too easy, and I'm glad we actually have something to do.
I do agree with that. The Endwalkers, you just spin tomes. It's
Yeah.
done.
Yeah, kind of
That's
lame.
that's too easy. It doesn't feel like you're doing anything. At least tying it to some sort of specific content, or even just like finish all the dungeons or something like that. Like
Yeah.
it feels like you're doing something, as opposed to just here's some tomes.
Yeah.
Here's your weapon. Thanks.
have a good day.
That's my preliminary thoughts and suspicions and predictions for some Occult Crescent stuff. I don't know if anyone. I'll be there day one. I'll be in the Blood God Discord. I'll probably stream it. Let's do it. I'll commit to that now. I'm gonna wanna. Oh, I'm going to chief this sucker. I am going to slurp it with a giant big gulp straw and just savor every second. I've missed this kind of content so
Paper
much.
straw. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a try. Why the hell not?
Well, because you didn't do Bosnia and you never finished Eureka.
Okay, Eureka was a little bit.
Eric.
By the time I got to Eureka, nobody was really doing it anymore. Bosnia, I had to finish the Final Fantasy Tactics raid to do that, and nobody does that anymore. So yeah.
Well, that's just not true.
I sat there and waited.
We'll get you through. We'll get you through all this stuff. The Evil East Alliance raids are a blast, and it's tragic that you haven't finished those, because those are a treat. All right. Anything else?
Not for this. I'm ready to go on to the Allied Society quests.
The Mamulja Allied Society quests.
I love Society quests. I always max them out.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to this. It's always worth maxing out.
Yeah, they're cute. They're good stories.
Yeah, they're really good. Like, look into how these societies function, their cultures and whatnot. I don't think I finished the Sagahin quests, which is too bad because they're kind of an interesting tribe. I always like the Sagahin in FF14.
Yeah, those ones definitely hit a lot harder earlier on before the culture around how the allied societies are treated has changed in the MSQ. But it is a nice little time capsule of seeing the tensions between beast tribes and the city states. Yeah, inconceivably.
So is this they didn't show where this was going to be, but this is going to be in the underground area, right?
I got the impression isn't it in the tree?
Yeah,
The
I would
forest?
assume
the
this would be
third
in
Yaktel?
zone, I
Mamook.
think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yaktel, that's what I'm thinking.
Yaktel. Yep.
Yeah.
I figured it was going to be the underground area with the Mamuja home because I like that zone. Just period.
It's
Just
not
doesn't look.
underground. It's just big trees.
It's under trees.
It's
The
under trees.
dungeon.
You got to go down into the thing. The lower
Yeah, there's like
area.
You go
there's
into
the
a little
highland and the
cave,
lowland.
but you come out of the little cave.
Right.
There's no ground above.
I was there
so-
grinding white pepper for
right.
hours to
You're
make
right.
my money. I know where
You're
it
thinking
is.
also the Sky Deep Cenote is the dungeon there,
Sure,
and that's
yeah.
underground.
Is the second part of Yaktel not underground?
No.
It just
No.
looks under.
It
just
looks
looks
underground.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a very deep valley
Huh.
with a really heavy canopy. It's a really interesting biome. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
But I figured that's where it's going to be. Help the Mulja. I always like Allied Society stuff just because the rebuild of whatever section that they have decided is going to be that Allied Society hub. I enjoy the rebuild, like
Me
to the
too.
point that you end up with a slightly different zone than
Yeah.
everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. I always like them.
I am not caught up on my Hildebrand adventures. So
Me neither.
I will do that. I hear it's fun this time around. I'm not gonna lie. I'm personally a little burnt out on Hildebrand. I never thought the day would come.
You're not the only one.
Yeah.
I did all of them because they were the relic things for Endwalker, and doing all of them in a row kind of burned me out on
Yeah.
Hildebrand real fast.
Yeah.
I was like, I get the joke.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know
Definitely
it probably
spread out.
hits different if it's spread out over like a decade, but like this was all in the span of about like 2 weeks for me, and I was like, I get it. I
Yeah.
get what you're going for here. It made me like Ultros, and it like prepped me for like Ultros being a goofy little guy in Final Fantasy VI, and I
Sure.
can only thank it for that. But I was like, he can't be this goofy in FF6, right? No, he's that goofy in FF6. It's,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
always up to his shenanigans. But yeah, no, Hildebrand, I'm like, I'll get to it when I get to it, I guess.
Yeah.
I like,
I've spread it out and kind of enjoyed it that way, but I haven't
yeah.
finished.
Yeah, I usually do it whenever it comes out, especially if there's a trial associated with it. I thought the Gilded Araya was a really, really good fight. I wish there was more like that.
Yeah,
Even the Yojimbo in
That's a good fight.
like
I like that fight.
that arena is really lovely.
Mhm.
I like those parts of it. I think I wish those resources were spent putting those things in a slightly more organic place in the world. But I get it. Hildebrand's funny. Yeah. Sure. I don't want to take that away from anyone.
I think they need to do like a new quest series and get like real deep into it, and then suddenly reintroduce Hildebrand. I think knowing
Yeah.
that's Hildebrand up front is honestly what like kills some, because I'm like,
Totally.
it's, yeah, you just end up sitting there like, okay, I'm waiting for Hildebrand to show up. Whereas like, I think it'd be funny if they did like, here's our take on Glass Onion or whatever on Knives Out, and you're actually like getting involved in a murder mystery.
Yeah.
You're having to do some like mystery solving, and then like 3 patches in, all of a sudden Hildebrand gets involved, and like that's the way you kind of bring him back while like giving it a little bit of freshness in the process.
Yeah.
That's my pitch, Square Enix. You can take it. It's free.
I like
Freely
it.
given.
And kind of one of the last things I wanted to touch on is the mounts, because those are sort of the rewards that can often be the draw for people. We got a demon brick that looks horrible when it
Mhm.
flies.
Love that little mother.
When it flies, your little arms poke out, and it looks disgusting.
Your
Boy,
legs are
that
dangling.
demon's bricked up.
Hey,
They're
all
saying it
right.
out there.
It's not called Demon Soft. Uh,
That's my new game development company, Demon Soft.
Demon Soft.
Uh-huh.
I'm very pleased
They
about
got-
this one. Oh yeah.
I was saying they also got the mech, a different color version of the mech from Mech Ops.
Yeah.
Yes.
A nice little
Dark.
Solution 9 car thing.
It's DeLorean. They have a DeLorean.
This
I want it.
When you get to Solution 9, when you go to that shopping district, along with the motorcycle that you were able to buy, that there were ads for everywhere. There were also ads for this car on billboards, on the screens. It is sitting there. It has been sitting there since day one in Solution 9 on a little show floor pedestal, and I thought, we're going to get that car someday.
Is this our first
car.
canonical car? Because
I'm
I'm assuming the
15 car is
Regalia.
not. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
Well, it's
yeah.
not canon, I guess. Yeah.
So this is the first time we've seen a car. We've seen motorcycles, I think. I think motorcycles have existed
And yet
elsewhere.
we haven't seen a toilet.
No, there are cars.
Yet to see a shitter. Yeah, it's really weird.
There are actual cars in Garlemald. We don't see any running.
There are cars
Oh,
in
that's right.
Garlemald. Okay,
There
yeah.
are, yeah. They don't.
Yeah.
They're not running, but they have those terrible machines that were meant to like direct traffic or something. And why would you do that? Can you imagine, like, you're driving in Garlemald and, you know, I don't know, your dad, you're going to school and maybe your dad, like, ran a yellow like mine did all
those
the time.
are cars. That's crazy.
The guy, the mag rotor comes screaming up next to you going, drive safely.
Yeah.
And you scream and you crack your pants. And it's like, no wonder everyone in Garlemald is miserable and cold.
Yeah, I think it's probably the only. There is another. One of the other tank mounts is it's 6 wheels instead of 4, but it is technically a car ish.
Is that the dwarf mount that has the wheels?
the rolling
That
tanker?
did bother me that it wasn't a
It's
treaded
rolling
vehicle.
tanker or something.
Yeah.
The
like
rolling
that.
tanker. Because get it, tankered, tank. The dwarves,
Oh, 'cause
Oh,
they drink.
damn it.
right?
Yeah.
I just got it. Again.
Yeah, that was cool. Wings. Wings. Do you
Yes.
want just wings? You can
Here you go.
wings.
They've been very popular. I see so
Yeah.
many people who are just like
Oh, yeah.
thrilled to have their wings.
Yeah.
So more wings. Yeah.
Some of them look
More wings for
real
everyone.
cool.
They
I
do
like
look
them
cool.
a lot. It's making me want to start doing some extremes.
Basic dog. Another
I can't
list
tell
to
if
the
it's a
basic
beagle
animals. It's a
or
beagle,
a
I think.
foxhound. I think it's a beagle.
I'm really excited. Mini oppressor. So oppressor from the Alexander raids. You could already get the mount.
Yeah.
Way back in the day.
Well, it
Now
was,
we get a little
It was PvP.
PvP, right?
It was last
Yeah.
season's
Okay.
PvP. Yeah.
Now you can get a little friend, not so little actually, next to Yoshi P's Lalafell. It was actually
It was about the same
almost the
size.
same size. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that little guy.
Yeah.
I want DeLorean.
We also get a new airship that looks sort of Amano style. Here's this Berenstain bearsed me. I got Mandela affected to my core because I saw this ship and I thought, oh yeah, the ship from the box art or the key Amano art for FF5. I looked it up, cannot find a single image that looks like this ship. Someone prove me wrong. Please, God, find...
I saw someone on YouTube say that it was the Bismarck from FF9. It does look like it has fins. But all Amano ships do.
Yeah, because the Amano art for the ship in what's it called is black, isn't it? Now I gotta look this
The
up.
one on the cover of 5 is black. The one that they're standing on the bow of. Yeah, I cannot figure out where I know this airship from. I thought it was an Amano piece, which would be weird if it came from 9 because Amano didn't do a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
A ton of illustrations for 9. Anyway, wherever this ship comes from, it looks cute, and I can't wait to fly around on it.
Looks like it holds like 8 people. Like it's a big one.
It's a 4-seater. Yeah.
Neat.
I mean, those are the big things. The last thing I wanted to mention before we wrap up is in the merch section. Of course, they have some Kigurumis, some Moogle and Chocobo things. They've got a nice new mechanical keyboard. What I want to talk about.
Yeah. I like how I think it's the escape key has the what's the status effect again? Weakness.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like for 16, like the multiplier 16. Which I don't think it can survive very long if you have 16 over your head.
Yeah, I would be very impressed. Yeah, and like they've got red, blue, and green versions of a bunch of keys, so you can kit it out for your role. What I'm most excited about is they're doing a collaboration with a shop in Tokyo called Isetan. And at this shop, you will be able to purchase with your own hard-earned money, Heidelin and Zodiac whiskey.
That's right, yeah.
Now, I'm planning on having a little honeymoon trip to Japan at the end of this year. If those are still around, you bet I am bringing home some Heidelin and Zodiac whiskey.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm stoked.
Yeah. And drink it all at once. Just drink it at the airport so they can slap you with Paris. Yeah, just being drunk on the plane, like on Heidelin wine. That'd be funny as hell.
Hear, feel, drink.
There we go. That's it.
I will say to close out this return, we mentioned that they gave dates. We didn't say what the dates were. Patch 7.2 is March 25th. And of course, Arcadian Savage, this next Savage will be April 1st. 7.21 is April 22nd, which will add Cosmic Exploration. And 7.25, which will add Occult Crescent, and the Allied Society quests will be May 27th, 2025. So that takes us out to May in terms of stuff to do.
Yeah.
I'm good.
There is the double-edged sword of spreading things out. Keeps you busy for a while, but also means that you can't fit everything in before Expedition 33 comes out. So
I just want to funnel all the 14 content into my content hole all at once. Is that too much to ask?
I know,
The
but
faster the better.
your
The faster I
content hole is
consume.
too small, Eric.
Oh, that's
And on that note,
I was gonna yes and you, and I was like, no, we gotta keep this
Don't.
PG-13.
Don't do it.
It's not Valention's Day yet.
But it might be soon. We'll keep everybody posted on that front. We may be seeing a belated Valention's Day celebration in the future. But until then, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for the return of Sharlayan Dropouts. Again, we'll be doing bi-weekly episodes. We'll be streaming them here. I'll have schedules sent out at a later date. But appreciate you all coming out. Can't wait. There's tons of stuff going on with the Blood God. We, of course, have our usual Saturday morning streams. We have is it a side quest coming up? No, we have a
We have a game club coming up. Pantheon is next. That'll be Cyberpunk 2077. And then we started the side quest a little bit early because it could have been Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and then we would have really wanted those extra weeks to get through all those episodes, because it's about like twice as long as some of the other animes that could have won. Or anime. Anime is the plural of anime.
yes, indeed. Grammar.
But Free Ren Beyond Journey's End is the winner for our It's Gonna Be Anime poll. So we are currently watching that. There are threads for both of those live in the Discord, so you can go check that out. There's also a watch guide if you want to pace it out a little bit and get current on Free Ren at a reasonable pace by the time that we do our side quest episode.
Mike, is there anything you wanna talk about? Plug anything at the end here?
I have nothing to plug. I will have stuff to plug soon, so next one. But until then, hey, play Warframe. It puts money in my pocket because I work for Digital Extremes. That's it.
Nadia, anything coming up personally or anything specifically over at Blood God you wanna sell people on?
Oh, well, we are doing the newsletter now, which is free every single week if you are a subscriber to the Patreon. But if you subscribe at the $5 level or more, you get every Thursday an extended newsletter that includes, amongst other things, like news and highlights and whatnot. You get an essay by me, some good old-fashioned games writing, which is a dying species, much like the what's a dying animal? The Siberian tiger. I am here to preserve the Siberian tiger of games writing, and I also do game music recommendations in the longer newsletter. So I think it's worth the $5 bump. Yeah, that's what I got for you. Please support us.
Groovy. Yeah, head on over to patreon.com/bloodgodpod for ad-free episodes, bonus episodes, newsletters, everything, Discord access. We have a great time. Thank you again for joining us for this Season 2, Episode 1 of Sharlayan Dropouts. And as I say at the end of every episode, we do not know, but we do hear, feel, and drink. Good night, everybody.